So now that you know what a trust does, let's talk for a minute about how a trust works. In a trust, there are three players. There's the settlor, the trustee, and the beneficiary. The settlor is the person who sets up the trust. That's, typically the client. The trustee is the person who is entrusted with the management of the assets that are in the trust. And then the beneficiaries, as the name implies, are the people who are entitled to the benefits of the property that's in the trust. Now, typically for most clients, during their lifetimes, they serve in all three of those roles. So they set it up, then they manage it for their own benefit. But then in the trust, they designate a couple of important roles. The first is what we call successor trustees, and the second is what we call remainder beneficiaries. Successor trustees are who we normally think of as the executors of the estate. They're the people who are tasked with stepping up, taking control of the trust and everything in it once the settlor passes away, and then managing those assets for the benefit of the beneficiaries. Now, the remainder beneficiaries are who you normally think of as our heirs. So, it's typically going to be the kids or a charity or your church or whoever else the person designates. And those are the people who are entitled to enjoy those things after the settlor passes away and is no longer the beneficiary of the trust. So the basic idea is typically the person is going to set up the trust and then manage and enjoy those assets for him or herself during the rest of that person's lifetime. If we have a married couple, usually they're going to set up a trust where they're both the settlors and they're both trustees, and after one of them is gone, the other one will serve as the sole trustee, and then after they're both gone, that's when the successor trustees will step up. And then the remainder beneficiaries are the people who will get to enjoy that property, whether it's distributed to them outright or it's held in the trust for their benefit until that triggering event happens that we talked about in the last video. So those are the three jobs that happen in a trust. And that's more or less how a trust works. It's a box, it holds stuff, there are people who get to enjoy it, and the people who get to enjoy it after this person who sets it up are the remainder beneficiaries.